Welcome to the Survivor to Thriver show with your happiness expert, Samya Bano. Do you feel stuck, silent, and stressed all the time? Is something hurting your heart and soul? Are you burning yourself out? Then you're in the right place, because this is the podcast people from all over the world join in to learn exactly how to stop suffering and start living with inner peace and joy. Let's get started. Today we are going to continue our reflections on what it really takes to live a life of thriving and what it looks like. What the process of it looks like as we are going through our Survivor to Thriver transformation. In one of the previous episodes, if you remember, I was talking with you about why it is so important that we have a big picture perspective, a big picture understanding of what it really takes to help us achieve the Survivor to Thriver transformation, to really be able to take control of our well-being and achieve inner peace and joy in our life, right? Because if you're missing the big picture perspective, one of the problems that you can run into, because of which you can find yourself continuing to struggle despite your best efforts to help yourself, is that without the big picture perspective, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know if you're missing essential parts of the solution, right? And so what you may have is only a piece of the solution, but not the whole solution. But because you don't have the big picture perspective, you don't know that. Because you don't know that, you can't effectively problem solve around why you're continuing to struggle to achieve the inner peace and joy and wellness and healing that you desire. Like, for example, I remember when I was in the more beginning stages of my own journey to healing and inner peace, and I just started learning about meditation, and I had just recently committed to prayer and praying on a regular basis as ways to help myself. I had sort of developed this expectation that, okay, once I start praying, once I start meditating, that I'll be able to experience peace and calm and joy and healing. And what I didn't expect is what actually happened, is that experience of going 2 steps forward and 1 step back, or sometimes even going 1 step forward and 2 steps back, right? Sort of like this journey to healing and inner peace. I expected it to be like a straight line up, but actually what it looked like was this big zigzaggy line going up and down, sometimes even taking a little loop backwards before continuing to move forward and up, but still possibly doing a lot of zigzag, up and down, up and down, up and down, right? So that is actually how I experienced my healing process. But I had developed this expectation that it would be like a smooth straight line heading up. And this kind of unrealistic expectation can really bum you out when it's not getting met. And especially when you have put in a lot of time and effort, and even to the extent of making sure that you have learned and put in time to understand the big picture perspective, and you have understood what all the pieces to the solution are, and you're taking all the right measures that you're supposed to take care of all the different pieces of the solution. So the problem now isn't that you are missing the big picture perspective. You have the big picture perspective, but you can still find yourself struggling and experiencing this up and down as you move up and move forward, move ahead in your process. See, because like for me, even as I moved ahead in my healing process and I started to gain more knowledge, more of the bigger picture perspective, more of a realistic perspective on everything that I needed to do to accomplish my inner peace, I still continued to have this kind of idealistic idea of what the healing process looks like. Because I guess I'm just partly that kind of a person. You know, I can, when I learn something, I can take it very literally, you know. And so if I read a book and it's talking about a meditation technique and the author says, yes, this will help you achieve inner peace and joy, and you know, you'll feel calm and you'll feel peaceful. Like my tendency, not so much now, but not too many years ago, was I would take that very seriously and very literally. And so when those expectations weren't met, I could very easily fall into this kind of negative thinking pattern where I would begin to doubt my learning, or doubt if I was implementing the learning properly, or doubt if maybe this is not the right thing for me. Maybe I'm, you know, not only doing something wrong, but this is just the wrong thing, you know, and maybe this is like, oh my gosh, or just other aspects of blaming and judging myself. And it's like, oh, Sanya, maybe like you're just a lost case and this cannot help you. Maybe you just don't deserve, you know, to have the kind of inner peace and joy and healing, because you just don't deserve it. You're not worthy of it. And just like this complete, like once you get into this kind of negative thinking cycle or pattern, you know, it can really take you down really fast, because the more negative thoughts you have, the worse you begin to feel. The worse you begin to feel, the more negative thoughts you have. The more negative thoughts you have, the worse you feel. So it's like, all right, you get the point, right? It's a negative reinforcing mechanism, right? The negative thoughts and the negative feelings reinforce each other. So you end up in this negative spiral going, and it takes you down really, really fast. And then, especially when you're down there, and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to, and you want to stop that negative spiral, and you want to make, start taking yourself back up. It feels like it's so much harder to take yourself back up than it was to fall down. It takes so much more time to work your way back up to that, to a more positive place than it took to work or to just fall down, right? So this is not the kind of thing you want to get stuck in. You don't want to get stuck in this kind of negative cycle of your negative thoughts and your negative feelings reinforcing each other and so on and so forth. And if, as in my case, one of the reasons, one of those root causes again, right? Remember, that root causes concept. This can be one of the root causes. Unrealistic expectations of what the healing process looks like, of what the process of transformation looks like. It can really bring you down. It can really be a huge bummer, to say the least. Okay? So if you're making this mistake, if you're fostering these kinds of unrealistic expectations, please give yourself a break and just let them go. Just let them go. I mean, just think about it. Can you even think of a single person who has achieved greatness in their life, who has achieved a lot of success in their life, who hasn't had to experience struggle, who hasn't had to put in time and effort to achieve the success, to achieve the transformation that you so admire about them? Can you think of anyone? I can't. I mean, even when I think of my greatest role models, the models that are, like, for me, the ideals of how humans ought to be living, and the best of the best examples of how we can be when we are at our very best. Like our prophets, whether it's Prophet Muhammad or Jesus or Moses or Abraham, or hey, even in a modern context, if you're looking at any of our great leaders, whether it's Gandhi Ji or Martin Luther King Jr. or Mother Teresa or Tony Robbins or, Wayne Dyers or anyone. You look in their lives. Hey, Steve Jobs just popped into my head. You look at their lives and you look at the process that they had to go through to achieve success, to achieve the transformation that they achieved. And you will see struggle, and you will see that it took time, that it took effort. So if all of these people who are our models, who are our leaders, if it took them time, took them effort, it took them struggle, it took them, taking a journey of 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 1 step forward, 2 steps back, to get to where they got to, then who am I to expect to be able to achieve my transformation without any struggle, without any up and down, without any significant amount of investment of time and effort? It's just not a realistic expectation. So think about that, and please cut yourself some slack. If it's taking you time to manifest the visions and the goals and the dreams and the results that you want and desire for yourself, It's okay if it's taking some time to manifest. Don't, just in the meanwhile, as it's taking time to manifest, just hold on to that vision. Just trust the vision. Trust your instincts. Trust your intuition. And just continue to move forward, doing the best that you can with what you have to keep moving forward towards your vision, goals, and dreams. And especially if those are visions, goals, and dreams that are connected and coming from your heart. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up right here for today. And as I wrap up, I want to give you a quick reminder that if you haven't already, please do go on my website at www.academyofthriving.com and click on the free online training tab and check out the free online training that I have coming up on this Saturday, March 21st at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Survivor to Thriver formula. Okay, the Survivor to Thriver formula, if you haven't heard me talk about it in previous episodes, is the formula that gives you the step-by-step process that you need to follow to achieve your own Survivor to Thriver transformation. Okay, it gives you the big picture perspective that allows you to take stock of how far you've already come on your journey, where you are doing well, because you're implementing the right solutions and tackling the problems that need to be tackled, and where there's still room for improvement, there's still room for growth, so that you can live with intention and purpose and not like the cow that we were talking about in I think it was the last episode, right? Okay, so don't live like the cow. Sign up for the Survivor to Thriver training coming up on this Saturday, March 21st at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Just go to the www.academyofthriving.com and click on the free online training tab to sign up. So until we connect tomorrow, I wish you lots of peace and joy.